Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with another StarCraft commentary. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another replay cast from our 2010 Jaedong replay practice game pack. Very, very excited to have this. Look at the pixels. Look at the pixels. Look at all the pixels. You know, I gotta say, I actually do kind of prefer the tournament games. Right, the old VODs, even though they're not as nice to watch, it's just for some reason it's nicer to know that there's more on the line, that they've been practicing, preparing for that game, you know, really hard. I feel like they're at a higher level when they're in a tournament game, you know. But it is also nice to be able to have some of these old replays, so we can get some HD quality, 1080p StarCraft remastered action from the old days. You know, this is from 2010, so this is from the Kespa period, basically, of StarCraft. So it's kind of cool that we can have a little bit of both in these situations. And Jaedong and Rain both kind of chatting over here, and the Korean character is not showing up on my screen, so sorry about that. Although I would not be able to read it anyway. But in any case, this is going to be a good match, I think. This is going to be a fun game. This is between Jaedong, who's of course the Zerg player over here on your side of your map, on your screen. The yellow Zerg, not to be confused with the yellow Zerg. Jaedong, one of the best Zergs of all time. I think there's arguments to be made that he was the best Zerg of all time. Could say that. You know, you could argue against that as well. Rain is an interesting character, though, to talk about. I'm going to talk about him in a second, just as soon as I point out that he's actually going for Gateway first here, which is really interesting. He's scouting with his probe round. Looks like he's going to catch Jaedong on the far end of it, but this is definitely not. This is something you might see more in 2021, actually, but it's definitely not usual in 2010. So he's doing a little bit of an interesting build here, trying to get his tech up very quickly. Now, this is a map with an expansion behind. So I think that might be what he's looking for here is, you know, instead of trying to do a forge expansion out in the front to try and get a quick expansion, he might be trying to do some tech and get his tech out faster. You know, if you can skip the forge and you can still get away with it, you can get your tech going more quickly. And if you can get an expansion still, then it's a good situation. Jaedong opting to get his hatchery in the natural expansion in the front. But I believe, I'm pretty sure on this map, yeah, you have a back expansion as well. And there we go. Jaedong has actually taken that back expansion in addition. The back expansion, I believe, is protected by some, yeah, there we go, neutral eggs. I guess I could reveal the map, but we'll see the map as it progresses. I'm not super familiar with this map, admittedly, and I don't even know what the name of it is, honestly. The map name was in Chinese on the replay, so I couldn't figure it out, but in any case, should be a fun game to watch. So we're going to see Rain go for some tech here. There we go, Cybernetics Core on the way. Jaedong getting his third base up in the back here. And so now you can see behind that base, there's like, yeah, these neutral lurker eggs blocking the way. There is a mineral patch so you can slide workers through. And, but I believe then there's another, like you have to go through that way to get into the side base. So this is relatively well protected, is my point. This is also relatively well protected. And he's just got these two zealots on the ramp. Jaedong moving across the map with 8 Zerglings. Is there a gap here on the side? Can he fit through the side? That zealot kind of shifts a little bit, takes one little sidestep, makes sure that can't happen. So we're going to go into a macro-based game here, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so just to talk about Rain, if you guys aren't familiar with Rain, it's interesting because at this point in time, in 2010, he was not really someone that you would really pay much attention to. I don't think he ever got very far in the individual leagues. He really didn't show up on the scene until 2009, and he was just a pro league player. He did pretty well in the team league, so he was a pretty strong team league player, but he really was just not someone that you would think was very special, honestly, in that period of time. But it's interesting because then he would become like one of the premier pro gamers. Like he's become a major you know, part of pro gaming culture in Korea, because he not only did he, so after he shifted to StarCraft 2, he won the very first StarCraft 2 OSL, right? He was the first winner of the first, you know, major StarCraft 2 tournament run by Kespa, in basically the first StarCraft 2 tournament where anyone could participate, you know? The GSL was, of course, the major tournament that was going on before the OSL switched for a couple of years. But, you know, not all the best programmers had switched to StarCraft 2 at that point, and so it was like a little bit different. So Rain won the first OSL. He ended up being one of the better StarCraft 2 programmers for a few years. Then he became a caster as well. So he was a caster, and what is going on here? Are we going to see some cannons on the high ground up here? Is that what we're going to see? There is a forge going with him. He's going to try and do a late cannon rush behind these lurker eggs and try and just damage this extra base, and it could be very effective. I don't know if Jaedong sees this coming. For some reason, Jaedong doesn't have an overlord or something over here, which is a little bit of a misplay. He even saw this probe duck into his base and duck back out again. In the meantime, we do have Jaedong trying to break down these eggs behind sorry, not Bisu. That was the game I did a couple days ago. Rain's base to try to get into this side base and just make a vulnerability there as well. And yeah, Jaedong is really missing the boat on this. Why does he not have anything to deal with this? He's gonna lose this base, I think, and all the drones. Oh, he's got a Hydralisk over here. The Overlord is coming into view. Is he gonna be able to get there in time to be able to? Okay, now he sees it. Now he sees the cannon. What's he gonna do about it though? He's also dealing with a little bit of skirmish over here in the middle of the map. He has given up on. He just saw the Corsairs moving across the map as well to try and do battle with his overlords. Hydralisks are there, but in the meantime, these cannons are going to warp in, and they're going to be able to stop. Okay, I thought this one was going to be able to hit the hatchery, but it looks like it can't. But Jaedong going for a big counterattack over on the other side forces a cancel of this attempted third base setup. While he's actually trying to push up the ramp with some Hydros as well. He's got a couple Zerglings, but this ramp is just too difficult of a spot. What is about to pop out of this robotics facility? Nothing. There is no hope of an emergency Reaver popping out and saving the day here. This is a strong push by Jaedong. In the meantime, yeah, he's only lost mining on a few patches over on this other base, so it's actually not a huge deal. Rain forced to pull probes. He's just got this one Dragoon from the back trying to do damage. A nice little probe drill forcing some of these Hydralisks to get a little bit wonky, but the Zealots are almost all dead. He's killing off so many probes in the midst of this as well, and he actually missed a chance to target down that Dragoon. I think he could have right-clicked that Dragoon and killed it off, but in any case, Jaedong is going to be able to fight off these cannons as well. They didn't end up doing too much damage in the long run. Looks like they got a couple. There's no kill counts on buildings, but it looks like they got a few drone kills over the course of it, but now he's going to be able to take them out, so very well done. Any case, so let me just to finish the rundown of Rain's bio real quick. He was a StarCraft 2 caster, and then he switched back to StarCraft 1. He switched back to StarCraft 1, and he won the ASL. He's been one of the strongest StarCraft 1 players for the last few years as well. So Rain, you know, in 2010 was just budding in his career, but he's actually become one of the better, like, overall career pro gamers of the last decade, essentially. And so that's pretty impressive to see that he's done that. And now he's he hasn't been winning the ASL. I think he got third a couple seasons ago, a few seasons ago, but he's actually, you know, one of the more popular StarCraft streamers as well. In the Brood War scene. So it's kind of cool that, like, you know, he's a player that would have just kind of been like a pro leaguer that wouldn't have been that popular in 2010 when this game was played, but he had a good career ahead of him, that's for sure. In any case, Sunken Colony actually put up there. Zealots being dropped out. I missed the Reaver actually trying to target things down there. The Reaver's now just going to get some free pot shots on this hatchery that's trying to be created. And so yeah, this is what I was thinking before, that you can squeeze through eggs on either side there of the either side of these upper expansions. So that's kind of how you can keep things going. This is really interesting. So Rain is kind of fighting with a skeleton crew right now, and you can see this. He's Jaedong trying to do the same thing, putting some hydras up above the high ground to try and you know, keep workers off of a couple of the mineral patches there. But it looks like Jaedong has cleaned up this little attack on the side. He's cleaned up the Reaver push as well. I believe he got out with the Reaver. Did he? I actually missed it. Maybe the Reaver died. Where'd the Reaver go? There it is. So the shuttle got out with the Reaver. He forced the cancel on the hatchery, but it's going to be recreated. And now these eggs has been killed off, so Jaedong can actually move forces up there as well. So things kind of stabilizing after a lot of harassment, after a lot of angling left, right, and center to try and get around these weird side expansions and what have you. Let's see where we are with the dust settling. Jaedong getting up this extra expansion up here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, about to have 5 bases. Actually, is this base going to get canceled? These Scourge are in a nice spot to take out that shuttle, but is he going to be able to get some damage done? Regardless, he picks up the Reaver. He's going to fall back. Is he going to try and escape? This is dangerous. He might lose the Reaver. The Scourge fall back, though. I think he was expecting him to be able to get back to these cannons in time, which is a good, solid move there. So not too much damage done, but not too much damage taken either by Rain in this situation. So we got Jaedong on the verge of getting 5 bases. Rain on the verge of having his 3rd base up. He's got the Reaver tech. He's got the Templar tech. And he's actually going to try and get a 4th base over here as well. This is actually a pretty sweet little spot here. The cannon and the Reaver behind the Zealots helping to block this spot. There's still a couple eggs on the ramp, so this is actually a really narrow ramp for him to try and get up. What is going on in here? Okay, these are just Scouting Scourge. So it looked like there was a drop, but I was like, wait a minute. Zergs don't do storm drops or anything like that. What would be the equivalent of a storm? I guess the equivalent would be like a lurker drop, trying to get 2 lurkers behind the mineral line or something like that. But that's a lot slower, a lot harder to actually get any kills with. So wouldn't really work out that well. In any case, Rain has been building up his Corsair count. In the meantime, by the way, he's up to 5 Corsairs. They do not have any upgrades, so they're not too super strong. They are vulnerable to Scourge attacks. And in fact, oh, he's going straight for the shuttle, though. He gets this Scourge. The shuttle is intact. He's got a Reaver and a couple Zealots in there, ready to pop out and do damage. But Jaedong is kind of like, he knows what's going on, right? He knows this is a threat. He's protecting against it. He's got Hydras on all of the sides. So I don't think he's going to get caught by this Reaver attack. I think this is kind of a little bit of posturing by Rain. He's keeping him off guard a little bit. Oh, this shuttle is actually back down here. Does not have the Corsair support. Is he going to try and bait him out? Bait the Hydras north with the Corsairs attacking, and then go in for a Reaver drop in the south or something like that. We'll see. It looks like he is getting some Overlord kills with these Corsairs. He's now up to 6. Continuing to produce additional Corsairs as well. Psystorm is almost upgrade, by the way. So he, I said he had Templar tech earlier because I saw that Templar archives, but I think we've only seen a couple DTs. We haven't seen the High Templar yet, but now that the Storm is almost finished researching, we're going to see him adding more High Templar to the mix. And they are the part of the mix that does, I guess they're the part of the mix, they're the part of the mixer that is the blades that swirl around in the middle. They can do tons of damage, especially alongside these Reavers here. So Jaedong really, and oh, I missed it again. The Reaver went in, looks like, I always catch these drops like a moment too late, just a moment too late, unfortunately. But the replay, it'd be so hard to go back in the replay, unfortunately. That's one of the good things about VODs. If you do miss something, you want to go back 10 seconds, it's a little bit easier. But in any case, Rain trying to get some damage done here, and I didn't see any blood on the ground, by the way. So he didn't get any damage, any major damage done to the drone count over here on this side base. So losing a Reaver, losing a shuttle, losing a couple Zealots as well, and not really gaining anything there. That's really bad situation, because look at this. Jaedong is ahead in supply. That is not the situation you want to be in versus Zerg. And if you just think about, oh, look at this little drop. I did not know this ridge was here. Look at that. He's going to have to waste a lot of Psystorms to deal with this. Jaedong kind of standing in the middle of the Psystorms and not dodging them means it's going to be easier to deal with. But, oh, morphing him into Lurkers. He's like, what you going to do about it? And Rain doesn't have an Observer. If he had an Observer, he could storm right here and take out all 3 eggs. That'd be beautiful. It's not going to happen. The Corsairs are coming over here, so he will be able to get vision that way, theoretically. He's actually searching, but these Lurkers are going to pop out a little bit too quickly. Okay, he sees them now. Is he going to respond? I don't think he has time. I don't think he has time. He could have stormed them all, but now the Lurkers are hatched. He could storm them all still, but he doesn't have vision. There's the Observer coming in. He's moved the Corsairs out in the middle of the map to try and get free Overlord kills instead of granting vision. And he's given Jaedong time to spread out these Lurkers. And maybe, did he have enough? Yeah, he did. He did have enough for storms, so I'm not sure why he didn't do the storms there. But I guess trying to be more efficient, try and save those storms, not use them to just kill, a couple Reavers. Wants to save those storms to make sure he can use them to kill a dozen Hydralisks instead. So smart move there. But again, Jaedong just seems to be running away with this game in terms of his map control, in terms of, well, maybe not map control, but just in terms of his map presence, I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases for Jaedong, and this massive rally point with tons of units that he's building up here. So he's got really, really good control there in that sense. Rain has 4 bases, but his main is going to be mining out pretty soon. Let's see how many patches. Well, actually, on 450 minerals on that patch, so he's actually not going to be mining out too super soon on that. He's still got a few minutes left there. So Rain actually not necessarily in the worst position, but it's just kind of when you look at the map, like my gut says like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 base Zerg, like you just don't want to have to deal with that, no matter how many bases you have as Protoss, you know. So I keep saying Bisu, sorry, because my brain is stuck in Bisu versus Jaedong mode from the last game I casted. Rain, rather. Rain, trying to push in on this northern base. Kind of takes some pot shots on the lurker eggs and then redirects down south. Looks like he doesn't actually want to go for that expansion after all, which is a little bit puzzling. I would have... Oh no! He lost the shuttle in the front! It had, I think, 2 Reavers in it as well. Huge, huge misplay by Rain. He's still going to commit to this, though. He's going to hope that the storms are enough. He does get a couple Psy Storms bound, but the Psy Storms are just not quite enough damage. I think he's going to be forced to fall back here. He has a significant army. He may, in fact, just keep going and trying to bait out... well, never mind. He's actually going to storm a couple lurkers underneath there. I thought he was going to try and bait the Hydralisks in as a group against his army, and then try and get some nice juicy Psy Storms just to try and at least trade efficiently. But losing the Reavers is huge. Imagine if he popped some Reavers out right now and the Reavers were able to assault these lurkers underneath the swarm. This would be a much, much different game right now. Zerglings coming in after these Dragoons. He needs to fall back with the Dragoons. He's doing some nice Psy Storms down, laying them down, actually killing off almost all the Zerglings with just the Psy Storms. Turned out to be a really good bait to have those Dragoons stand still and let the Zerglings attack them so that the Storms could polish them off. Well done there. And actually the Zealots underneath the swarm winning of the day against the Hydras as well. So beautiful storms here. He's probably out of Psy Storms now. He's going to be morphing more Archons, but in the meantime I think he might need to fall back in this situation. The swarms are too close. He's out of storms. He's almost out of Zealots as well, but actually now they say that he is winning out. There weren't as many Zerglings under there as they thought, and Rain is continuing to put on the pressure here. He's going to keep winning this battle over and over again, and every time I think that he's about to lose and needs to fall back, he just gets more and more trades. Now he is going to be forced to fall back. He has lost a lot of stuff. He lost several Dragoons. He lost a ton of Zealots, but the trades were just so efficient, and in the meantime, while he's being chased north over on the top right of the map, he's also counterattacking the bottom middle of the map. And look, he doesn't have an observer. He can't see these lurkers, but he doesn't care. He's just going to right-click the hatchery, get rid of it. And in the meantime, he's gotten up the 12 o'clock base as well. Things have turned completely around in this game, ladies and gentlemen. I was saying how I thought that Jaedong had the economic advantage. He had the map advantage. He had the tactical advantage. And Rain has just forced a beautiful counter here in the middle of the map. And just Jaedong couldn't quite organize himself well enough. He was just kind of streaming in units piecemeal because this is his rally point. He let him get right to the rally point. If it was a battle up here, he could try and bring units in from the north and south and do a sandwich attack, do a flank and that kind of thing. But since it was in kind of an awkward spot for him, Jaedong couldn't really mount a good defense. Rain now still continuing to move around the map, and look at this clump of reinforcements now pushing out too. He's going to mount together an entire almost maxed army. Jaedong, however, is maxed. He is maxed out. Where is that army, though? It's kind of scattered around. He's got a large group over here. A ton of lurkers are morphing right now, and it looks like Rain is going to miss this slight opportunity to kind of go in for the kill while those lurkers are all morphing. Now that they're all hatched out, they're going to be able to spread out. They're not going to be vulnerable to the AoE attacks, but he still has a ton of Zealots. Even if there's Dark Swarms, he's going to be able to battle. Oh, he's clumped up the lurkers, which is really good against the Zealots, but these High Templars see nothing but targets. Is he going to get a nice big juicy storm on the lurkers? Yes, that one's pretty good. Very nice storms there. He's actually going to... He doesn't kill many of them, but he gets them all very low, and the rest of units are going to come in here and polish off. The lurkers are doing damage to the Zealots, but it's not enough. He's going to try and get some units out of the Nidus Canal, but I just don't think he has enough right now to actually go in here. Now, his rally point is right north of here, so he can actually get some units into the fray pretty easily, but right now there is 5 Archons rampaging underneath Dark Swarm. There's 1 lurker left. It's going to be taken out very quickly. There's 2 observers overhead. He's not even trying to scourge snipe them or anything like that. In the meantime, by the way, that counterattack at the 12 o'clock position has actually taken out that base. couldn't pay attention to both spots at once. This seemed like the more crucial location, but we'll see actually, because now Rain is just limited to very few bases actually. He's never expanded down to the southern position until now. So it looks like Jaedong is going to clean this up though. Jaedong able to just get enough stuff out. And, you know, I think this was a pretty good position to go in, but the reinforcements are so close that he was able to actually, you know, deal with it. I was like, why do I hear Zerglings attacking something? Where is that going on? Oh, it's just the eggs over here. So, Jaedong able to fend it off. And here's the crucial thing. Look at this. Pristine. Pristine landscape. No damage. Hatcheries, almost full health. Drones, intact. So even though he had a good attack and he was able to do a lot of damage to Jaedong's army and take out a lot of units and be very efficient in that sense, he didn't actually take out Jaedong's capability. And that is the crucial thing, because Jaedong now has 5,000 minerals in the bank and a lot of larvae that he can try and use to mount an offensive there. A lot of money as well. He might just be deciding what to buy actually at this point, because he has the larva, but he's not spending it right now. And maybe it's because he doesn't need to. You know, he's like, I'm already almost maxed. And actually we just saw him max out there by building some Ultralisks. So maybe he was waiting for the Ultralisk Cavern that I didn't see being made. No, the Ultralisk Cavern has been up. In fact, the Ultralisk Speed is about to complete. So maybe he was waiting for that. But either way, we're going to have some giant cows coming out here, ladies and gentlemen, very, very soon. This is a nice little push over here by Rain. He's trying to whittle down the capability of Jaedong coming into left side. This is far away from Jaedong's rally point, and so it's going to be much harder for him to get reinforcements here, but not when you got a Nidus Canal. And so everything can pop out here and defend this location. He needed to get that Nidus Canal first. He didn't, so Rain is really on the back foot now. He lost... He's lost this base up here and was never able to get it back. He has taken this location, and this is kind of a cool little spot here. He's got a line of zealots, and actually, never mind. I thought they was like trying to make a line to protect the probe line or something like that with the Templar behind it. I think it might have just been that they were on move command and stopped moving or something like that. But Jaedong trying to come in here and snipe this base. If he gets this base, Rain's Econo will be in such poor condition that he will not be able to win the game. And taking out the Reaver means that he's not going to have anything to deal with these Ultralisks. A Plague on the cannons is going to seal the deal, and Rain GG's and exits the game. Very, very well played by Jaedong. But again, you know, this is 2010. This is 2010. I think if they played in StarCraft 2, it would be a different scenario. And if they played in 2018, it would probably be different as well, you know? Rain... really, really kind of cool. I just think this is a really cool story how, you know, like I said, he was kind of on the tail end of the Kespa era, starting to get really good, and then, you know, but he never really got a major personal tournament win, and just that he's become such a phenomenon in the esports is pretty cool. But yeah, if you had any doubt, you can just look at the minimap here and see how Jaedong has just been spreading around the outsides of this map, taking complete map control. And so it was kind of like, you know, once they were connected, once the two parts of the circle were connected, up here in the bottom, top right, they were next to each other. Bottom left, it's like there's nowhere else to go. So now it's just a game of arm wrestling, and then once one player starts pushing the other down, it's hard to bring it back. So, but in any case, really cool game to see these old school players get to check out Rain in 2010 before he was such an important part of the community. And anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. And again, no live streams this week, but I'll be returning next Wednesday for the VODs and Chill show, and that should be fun as well. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. GG.